It's your boy Alex. Welcome to the second episode of Alex Chronicles. In the first episode, we basically covered change, and so I just wanted to sum up really quickly what we did in that episode. Um, Essentially, I talked about change and really how change is vital to your life in order to help you grow, to go from one stage to the next. And also, I covered some of the difficulties of change. And essentially, at the end of the video, I talked about how change can be monumental and specifically revolutionary to this world and that we live in. And so, it wouldn't be right if I talked about change and didn't apply it to myself, right? In a sense, also borderline hypocritical. So for me to prescribe something and not necessarily take it myself, right? That's like saying, hey, you should get more sleep at night, and I'm here sleeping like 3 hours a night. So change. What did I change or switch up last week? And actually, the title of the video, if you want to check it out, it's called Switch It Up. And so, what did I switch up? So, I've been trying to get to the gym for the longest time. And one of the issues I've had is consistency. And so, last week, I decided to go to the gym, tried to make it twice, didn't end up doing that. We had some company over. So, I ended up going once. And so, that day, I did two things, though, that were big in switching it up. I not only went to the gym, but I did much more questions. I started studying for this exam called Step 3. I did much more questions, or amped up the amount of questions that I did, and that was a big challenge. Not only because it's harder to do that many questions, but to process in a certain amount of information and also cover the info that you're trying to obtain or get into your brain can be a challenge. On top of that, dealing with some of the fatigue from the gym. But it was great because I felt confident, and I also felt like that change helped me. It rebooted my mind and helped me get into another space to refresh me and also switch things up so that I'm better prepared for what I have to do next. So today, what are we going to be talking about? We're going to be talking about being yourself. You can repeat that to yourself. Be yourself. To me, it sounds redundant, right? Like, be yourself. It's saying just be who you are organically, right? And so there's going to be either two segments to the video or two different videos I'm going to do. And the first part is going to be about the background of being yourself. So how is it that you're able to be yourself if you don't know who you are? So first, I'm just going to talk about being who you are. What is your calling and identity? The second part of the video is going to be focused on once you are yourself, that you know that who you are and you're trying to be yourself, you have to learn 3 different things that will be vital to your growth and help others around you grow as well and just make the world a better place. So they are the 3 big things are being genuine, being free of people's perceptions, 2, and then 3, not trying to prove yourself to others. People get too caught up in trying to prove themselves to others and society rather than just growing organically and doing what you think is right. And so let's get right into it. Who are you? So being who you are essentially has a lot of different components. And so when you are yourself, you're composed of racial identity, socioeconomic background, could be where you grew up, it could be the clothes that you wear. Who you are has so many different components. It wouldn't do it justice to say this is who you are. But I think at the very core of who you are is your character, your personality, potentially your spiritual beliefs. Who are you emotionally and psychologically? I think who you are is more specifically has to do with your soul. So the soul is the mind, will, and the emotions. And that's the very inner core of who you are, along with your spirit. And you could say your mind as well. I personally don't think that the other things are as important. I'm not saying that they're not important for life, right? Like your finances have to be in straight, your physicality or your health is important. All those things are important. But who you are, I believe, has more to do with your spirit and your soul than anything else, because it's the very innermost part of your being and who God created you to be essentially. And then identity, right? Like so many people tie their identity to things that are more, I would say, superficial, or things that are more, for lack of a better term, more temporary, like money. Some people tie their identity to money. They think that because their bank account is bigger, that they're better, bigger, and badder than everybody else. And then other people tie their identity to the clothes that they wear, the possessions they have. If somebody has a boat, a car, a house, they think that their identity is based upon that. Other people tie their identity to the social group that they're part of, or a sports team. And all those things are, I would say, important to a certain degree, but they don't define who you are. And then other people will actually define their identity based upon their career. But one thing that I learned even reading this blog, and it's something that I've believed, that I've always believed. It was an op-ed piece actually on this. It's basically a medical blog site, and a doctor said, a physician is not who you are, it's something that you do. And that's something that I sense that I know in my life has been revealed to me by God, is that I'm not, and I'm pursuing also the field of medicine, I'm not, how do you say it? Being a doctor is not me. It's something that I do. You know, I'm not just a physician. You know, even when people go around and you can see in social gatherings, they'll ask questions like, oh, well, what do you do for a living? As if this is who you are. Like if that's your identity, like the sum total of your identity is your career. And I think it may be part of who you are, but at your core, it's not who you are. And then lastly, what is your calling, right? Like once you're establishing your identity and you know who you are, you will have a better idea of what is your calling. And even knowing who you are has to do with being self-aware, being aware of your strengths and your flaws and how far you've come in whatever domain of life. It could be finances, it could be health, it could be spirituality, it could be academics. Whatever it is in whatever area of your life, being who you are and being aware of that also has to do with you having the impetus and the wherewithal to be able to embrace your calling. So once you know what your calling is and your purpose, now you have a launching pad to being yourself. Thank you so much for tuning in and watching. I thank you so much for even your comments or your feedback, and more specifically for being able to tune into this video on the Alex Chronicles. Catch you on the flip side. Take care. God bless. And one love. Peace.